Rough times are ahead for Eddie George in his first season at Tennessee State as the head coach. I'm going to talk about it and tell you why after the bumper. What's good people? Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because we upload every single day. Now, the Tennessee State Tigers took on the Grambling State Tigers in a Black College Football Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio, and it was beautiful to see Eddie George as the new head coach in his first game ever as the head coach of the Tennessee State football program. And it was rough. It was rough for Eddie George in his head coaching football debut. You know, the former Heisman Trophy winner, the former Tennessee Titan, now leading the Tennessee State Tigers. And it was rough. Like I said, Eddie George is going to learn a lot about his team in this fall season. Here's the thing. This is an evaluation process for Eddie. He didn't get a full recruiting season before he got hired. He's hired and he's coming to a team that hasn't had much success over the last few years, and it has a lot of players on his team that haven't had a lot of success, right? So they lost 16-10 to Grambling. He played three quarterbacks, Jeremy Hickbottom, Devin Bryant, and Tucker Pope. Out of the three quarterbacks, they only managed 119 yards passing. Just 119 yards passing in a 16-10 loss to Grambling. That's it. This is the kicker. This is really what really lost them the game. Tennessee State racked up 18 penalties for 150 yards. 18 penalties for 150 yards. That's not good. it's not good at all. Here's the thing about Tennessee State, and here's the thing about what Eddie George and why I say it's going to be rough. It's going to be a long season for the Tennessee State Tigers. Point blank, period. Until Eddie, his staff, are able to go out and do what Deion was able to do at Jackson State and recruit and bring some ballers into that program, that won't happen this season. You don't bring midseason ballers in. This ain't the NBA or the NFL. You can't. It's not a trade deadline. You can trade players and get guys to come in during the season. You got to work with what you got. And so this is going to be really rough. But what this is going to do for Eddie with this fall season is going to be much like what the spring season was for Deion at Jackson State. It's going to be an evaluation period. It's going to be a period where Eddie is able to tell his players, he's going to be able to say, just like what Deion said, it's like, we are looking to replace you. You guys aren't getting the job done. So what I'm going to do as the head coach with notoriety, with celebrity star power, hopefully being able to recruit with my staff that has hella NFL experience, from Hugh Jackson to Jeff Fisher to so-and-so or whoever, we're going to get a guy that's better than you. So this is your time. This fall season is your time to prove to me you deserve to be on the roster come spring. You deserve to be on this roster come fall of 2022. Period. Because they are going to lose a lot of games this year. This team is not very good. Grambling, a team who didn't win a game in the SWAC during the preseason, just beat you 16-10. And Grambling's not very good. The next week you got Jackson State. You go to play Jackson State next week in the Southern Heritage Classic down in Memphis, Tennessee. It's going to be a pretty good team. Kentucky State, you might have a chance to win. I don't think you have a chance of beating Jackson State, by the way. I think that might end up being a blowout. I mean, Jackson State is super talented over there. If Shador can not do too much, I think they have a chance of really blowing out Tennessee State. You got Kentucky State. Then you play teams like SEMO and Austin Peay, who are typically pretty good. Murray State, who can play. So, I mean, this is going to be a challenging season for Eddie George. But the beautiful thing is he'll find out what kind of players he has on his team and what kind of players he needs to go out and get. I think the transfer market will be flooded and will be full with guys that can drastically help improve Tennessee State, that can drastically help improve the culture down there in Nashville, that can drastically help improve Eddie George. But just going off this first game, I mean, this team is undisciplined. 18 penalties for 150 yards. 3 quarterbacks, and you only combined for 119 yards passing. Your running game, Devin Starlin, he didn't do too bad. He ran the ball. He averaged almost 5 yards a carry, scored a touchdown. So you got some players at running back. You might even have some players at receiver. But you need to go out and get your quarterback, and you're going to have to go out and improve the trenches. It's going to be a long season for Eddie George. I'm rooting for him. I hope to wish him the best, but this team just ain't it. And you go down to Memphis, or you go, to Memphis. It's not very far from Nashville. But you're going to play a super talented team. And what I think is going to take place, because Eddie George credits, Deion going to Jackson State for him being called and wanting to go to Tennessee State. And Eddie is going to look across the field at Jackson State next week when they play in the Southern Heritage Classic. And he's going to look at the players at Jackson State. He's going to look at the players, especially on that D-line. Ooh, that D-line is a beast. Players at the D-line. Players on the O-line. Players at the receivers. The player at quarterback. And him and Hugh, coach, guy's been in the NFL, been around NFL players, are going to say, a couple of them guys are going to be in the league. We need to get guys that are going to be in the league on our team. And I think that's going to be an ultimate, just really light bulb going off for Eddie. And obviously, he didn't get a chance to recruit those type of players for this season. But he'll get a chance for next year. And this will be the ultimate evaluation season for guys in Nashville on Tennessee State's roster. Leave your thoughts in the chat. Leave your thoughts in the comments on Eddie George's debut, on Tennessee State moving forward, and on the Southern Heritage Classic, which will take place on September 11th. So let me know your thoughts in the chat. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Once again, I'm Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Black Boss Channel and Victory Formation. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at JLightsy7. I talk about this kind of stuff all the time there. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Peace.